right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another brand new episode of the Beyond Suspicion podcast with one of your favorite co-hosts in the entire world, Eduardo. Now, as you can tell, the White Rhino isn't here, Bernicus Maximus, and B-Red isn't here. But before we start off this episode, I definitely want to say and send a shout out to the homie Brad. It is his birthday today on the 10th. As we're recording this, it is his birthday. So if you watch this, happy birthday, brother, to many more. And hopefully you have an amazing day today. So happy birthday again, brother. Love you. But today, of course, as you can tell, we have a guest today. Now, before I introduce my guest, though, we did have something planned for this one. It may go down, it may not. So we'll see. As we are recording this, we'll find out if our... I don't want to say surprise. I mean, surprise. It will be a surprise guest because it's it's a gentleman that's a man of many hats. But we'll keep you posted as we're recording this, and if he does show up, we're definitely gonna blend this episode in with that one, or we might have to split this up into maybe like a part 2, part 3, part 4, because I just have a feeling it's gonna be a phenomenal conversation. But nonetheless, today with me I have another guest, so it's a 2-for-1 special. I have my boy Eli with me in the building.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? I'm doing good, man. Is this your first time being on a podcast?
Yes, it is.
Oh man, dude, we're just. I mean, like I say, they're popping your cherry on this one, right?
Just a little bit, yep.
So yeah, so this is my homie Eli. We've known each other for, I would say, man, a few years, right by now, right?
Yep.
A few years. It's a dope story with Eli. At one point, he was pursuing. I mean, I guess you can say you still are involved with music in a sense, right? You're a fan of music, of course, but you were a DJ at one point, and I remember. He is my sister's boyfriend as well. I want to note that as well. But she told me one day, like, hey, my boyfriend's going to perform or DJ at... What event was that we went to that one time? I think it was it on a Sunday or a Friday? I don't remember.
I don't remember which.
It was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
It was in...
pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic. And this was... What part of Seattle was this at?
So, I don't even know. How would you say?
It's somewhere... I don't think it's a Seattle City, like Seattle Center.
No, it's like north...
Before.
I forgot the name of it. Like, I'm so bad with the names.
I know, me too, dude. I know places by geographical location, like it's by the Wendy's on this street or whatever, Mm-hmm. But street names in general, or areas in general, I don't know anything. So
yeah.
But anyways, yes, I went to see you perform that day, which was cool because I'm like, oh damn, he DJs, you produced a couple of tracks as well. And I was just like, oh dang, so he's really following through with this. And that night was pretty cool because they had like 3 stages at that day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or 3 or 2.
Yeah, they had 3 stages, 3 different rooms. There's a place called Substation.
Substation. Okay, that's what it's named. Okay. And at first I'm like, oh damn, this is like a legit event. It was cool. It was a nice vibe. I mean, there was a nice amount of people. I went with my homie Jonathan. Shout out to you, Jonathan, for watching this. But we went there to support, and it was a dope time. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, there's a crowd. People were having a good time. We had a few drinks, and it was dope, man. So that's kind of how I really started just kind of getting to know you as a person. That you were a fan of a lot of things that I'm a fan of as well. We're both fans of dubstep and all that. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, man, it's cool to have you on, and thank you for coming on. Of course, unexpected notices, right? Take for a turn of events, right?
Yes. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, man. But I mean, today we're gonna freestyle on this one, ladies and gentlemen, and of course for all you brand new listeners that are just popping to this podcast, welcome. Definitely, follow our socials as well. We're on Instagram, Beyond Suspicion Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that jazz. We are everywhere. And of course, we just left off on the last episode with the homie Brett. I forgot the title of that episode, but we filmed one. Go check that out. It's out now. Catch up with all the latest greatest that we have available on in regards to episodes. And we also definitely finished before that, we finished an awesome episode with Roxy. Go check that out. That was a phenomenal episode overall. Insightful. Just, we went everywhere on that conversation. Can't thank her enough for coming down here all the way from Killicali, which is crazy. Did you check out that episode, by the way?
Saw the first part of it. I'm still getting through it. But it's pretty good. I like it. No,
man, it was a hell of a time, man. It was definitely an experience because I think she was like the first guest that we ever had fly out from a different state to, collaborate with us. So we were super thankful for her doing that because, I mean, she could be doing anything else, right? But she decided to just come on our platform and have a conversation with us and just let the people know that, what she's all about, what she has working on, or what she's cooking behind the scenes, and all that stuff. So it was really insightful and just a very interesting person, to say the most. So definitely we'll be keeping tabs on her. But yeah, man. So today, bro, I mean, on this podcast, you're pretty much familiar with what we like to do. We just like to dive into the most randomest topics that just in regards to this world that we're living in and just everything that's happening. I mean, aside from just like last time we were talking about UAPs, I know we've talked about that off air too as well, UAPs, on how the government's being more outspoken about this and just all this other stuff. We've talked about crazy technology and all this other stuff. I mean, dude. So actually, before we start this episode, let's just jump into this topic now. AI, artificial intelligence, for people who don't know. It's getting crazy, bro. I was just telling you right off rip that I just read an article. The famous game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 just released today for all the people, all the gamers out there that are avid gamers, they dedicate their life to this stuff. They released an artificial intelligence voice for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Now, the purpose of this, I guess, voice is supposed to pretty much, ping players for using profound language and just saying a bunch of vulgar stuff, I guess. But I mean, dude, like you were saying, that's invading freedom of speech. But what do you think about that, man?
Well, I mean, technology is there, so I mean, we can already tell that they've been doing this already on other social media platforms and just monitoring and seeing what we're doing. Well, when it comes to games, I feel like there should be the option of having in other games you can turn the profanity filter on or off.
Yeah.
But if you have that filter off, then that should allow you to not get penalized for speaking how you wish to speak.
Yeah. I mean, you would think by now they would have something. I mean, dude, will they have the future of like turning off the public chat, right? You can mute everybody. So I don't see why anybody that doesn't want to, be involved in those conversations. Because let's be real, comparing it to now to back then when we were growing up, especially for me, at the peak of Call of Duty, the first Modern Warfare 2, 3, the first ones that came out on regular Xbox, the chat rooms were brutal. I swear, every cuss word you can imagine was being said there. And we always make these jokes that even today, like the kids that are playing these games or just the adults that are growing up into adults that are playing these video games, they would just be, their jaws would drop for all the things we would say because it was at that level of being competitive. We would just call the other people these names, right? Because of that competitive nature. But you fast forward now, it's like, on Xbox, especially on their platform on Xbox Party Chat, they'll actually ban you if you say any of these words that they deem profanity, I guess, which is crazy. But you're right. You would think they would have an option if you want to be involved in those type of convos while you're playing to just flip off and then boom, you're done. But to pretty much get somebody else in trouble for saying all this stuff, I just see it unfair. But do you think this will leak into more other serious things in regards to just freedom of, like, I guess we could say it is invading your freedom of speech to say anything, but do you see this being implemented into other things as well, aside from just like the voice aspect?
Well, thinking about it is like, in a sense, they're not really impeding on our freedom of speech, but they are, because like we're using their platform so they can set those rules.
Yeah, true.
Like what they can and can't allow. But moving forward, I mean, I feel like it's already been done in other platforms already in different ways, right? Like during previous elections, there's been times like where if you post certain things, they might remove you automatically and not like really check into it. That was done by a AI, a robot,
For sure. That's true, though. During the election, I mean, there was a lot of robot tweets or a lot of robot accounts that were just saying a bunch of just ridiculous things, right? One that would benefit the other party and whatnot. But that, like you said yourself, we were having this conversation while we were driving to this location where we're recording this episode at, that it's being weaponized in a sense now, where it's no longer, I think it was you that said it, or I want to say, I think I had a conversation with Brad about this as well, but it's more or less of just filtering out a bunch of stuff that we could say is factual and putting in a lot of misinformation, I guess. Because if you really think about it, for you to really turn people or just steer people a certain way, you would think all the information as that the palm of your hand right here, right? So people are automatically gonna read whatever it is that they see first and foremost, and they're gonna run with it. Because a lot of times, even me, like I take a quick glance, I'm like, wait, I gotta take my time and actually do my due diligence to actually research this stuff instead of jumping the gun and just be like, oh, I believe everything I read firsthand, right? So I can believe that. I mean, who knows, right? But on that note, with AI, right, we're on the topic of AI, which is crazy. They can actually create videos. And also, for anybody that's actually been following our socials, I think you might have seen it. I think I've told you, right? That last post of Homegirl giving us that shout out, like if you haven't seen so I told you that's AI, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. How realistic does that look? This is just the beginning, too, of like creating something like that, but to be perfected where you won't even tell the difference if it's like an actual person or robot. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's getting crazy with the capability of technology these days.
Too crazy.
I've even experimented with like trying to use some like the newer like AI systems where you can like try to copy like some artist's voice and like you put in there like a chat and then they will sing it, right?
Oh, dude. So on that note, sorry to cut you off, brother. Dude, Brett sent me shout out to Brett Brett Maximus, White Rhino, mother co-host, the main jefe, the main captain of the ship. He sent me some songs. People could do their due diligence to go look this up. AI created songs with Tupac, Nate Dogg, and all the legends that are no longer here with us. Created songs with their voice that you would think if they were here, they would record these songs, and they sound so legit, dude. It's like just you bringing that up. It is mind blowing. We are living in a time where this type of stuff exists, bro. Like, do you think that how would Tupac sound on these current West Coast beats or on an East Coast beat? Done just like that. Mm-hmm. It's insane, dude. Like, to me, I mean, for people out there probably like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. But no, think about it. They can record my voice, your voice, anybody's voice without anybody's consent. I mean, there's so many gray areas with this. Like, the more I think about it, right? We're talking about misinformation, the spread of misinformation, all that stuff. They can make any major leader, like let's just throw something out there. The president of the United States right now, right? They could make him say something that is completely out of pocket that could potentially start the next world war. Mm-hmm. And we might not even know it. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't even decipher like, well, did he really say that or did he really not? So, I mean, trust me, people, this is something I'm not trying to spare any fear, but I'm just saying, like, you kind of call it out. You have to call it out for what it is. This type of stuff can be manipulated and be used for good, used for evil. I mean, it's going to go down either way, right? It's just always the name of the game of the nature. It's always good versus evil, evil versus good, or whatever. But I mean, dude, I mean, okay. So you were saying that you were messing with AI to create songs. Like, what type of songs were you creating?
It was just for fun. Like, we had some like class project. It was actually for your sister, and like,
really?
They were supposed to make a poem.
Okay.
Made like by some other type of artist. We're like, oh, we found it and trying to. She made the poem make it sound like Drake. And we're like, oh, let's put this AI voice on it just to see if it could actually like have Drake sing his like song. Yeah. But I mean, it was a free online version. It didn't do it too well.
Yeah.
It was interesting the fact that it was even available.
Yeah.
And that's free stuff. You pay for it. Like,
dude, I know,
there's
right?
Stuff already out there that's like, I think Key and Peele, they did a little mini video where they impersonated Obama. It was a deep fake because he's good with his voice.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, it was really him, just with the deep fake on his face.
Dude, that is insane. Yeah, dude, the deep fakes with that. I mean, they're utilizing that even in movies. I mean, the one thing right off rip that I could say that they're really utilizing this in is Star Wars. When they try to make a scene with Luke Skywalker, I believe the first time they ever did that for the show The Mandalorian, for people that are Star Wars heads, they did a recreation of Mark Hamill who plays Luke Skywalker, and they made him super young, like he was back when the movies came out. Mm-hmm. But it got to the level where people are making it better to where it really looks like Mark Hamill, how he looked when he was younger. Like, it's just so hard to tell, right? But on the note with you creating that voice, like you said, Drake's voice being used to read that poem, I actually messed with AI myself in regards to editing, because when it comes to the podcast, I edit a lot of majority of our clips and our episodes, and I actually used it to edit some of my clips. Mm-hmm. So this is what's crazy. So people for anybody that's a video editor, audio editor, I'm sure I'll be able to do this as well. I mean, you just got to hit your Googles and look this up. But you pretty much upload the episode that you would want these clips to be made from, right? And it's subscription based. So if you, I think it's a certain amount you pay, you get X amount of time of clips that'll be made, and they'll actually upload it to your socials and all that stuff, and they'll even create your titles, which you do. So it's a one stop shop. Now I see this being super beneficial just because I've seen it from the perspective of someone who edits videos and clips, right? It is very useful, but I think there's just some moments where you yourself know what would make a good clip. Now, knowingly, I don't know how the AI deciphers that or whatever, or how they would be able to tell that this would hit the algorithm or what would draw people to watch them or, get their attention. But I mean, there's just some things that I just feel like for me as of now, right? I mean, I'm sure this thing's going to get better and better and better, that, it won't choose those clips that I feel like there would be one of those ones that would draw someone's attention to be like, oh, I'm going to check that podcast out, or I'm going to watch this actual 2-minute clip and then watch the full episode because I'm now interested of what they're talking about. Right. But I think for now, I don't think it's going to top somebody that actually is a master at their craft when they're editing. But once this thing really takes off, I think I can see myself purchasing that subscription and think about it. It can even edit your full episode, I think, at this point, really. And you just got to give the words that you want crossed out, where you want it to start and where you want it to end and what you want to implement. So, I mean, dude, I think it's just really going to change the game in regards to how you edit, video clips specifically, man. And it's going to change the game. But like when it comes to music, do you think it's going to have a major effect when it comes to that? Just in regards of just the songs we're talking about that are made that have been made with these people that are no longer here with us. Do you think it's going to change the game in regards to music as of now? Because I think people have tried to release certain tracks. I think I just read this article about, do you know who Aiden Ross is?
I've heard of him.
So apparently, I don't know if this is factual. I just saw it within the interwebs on X, aka Twitter. He bought a song that was this unreleased song from, I think it was Travis Scott and Kanye West, and he paid $500,000 for it. And then he found out it was AI created. Oh, dude, no big 500 racks. It's like, dude, just the mere fact that he would spend that much, I guess that's a flex. But to me, it's like, dude, you could have bought like a crib with that. Just for some property. But I mean, how do you think this will change music? Like, just knowing that because you have a music background, how could you see this, I guess, change music in a sense in that field?
Well, I mean, it already is. People are already using AI to like help out with like creating some of their music and create or generate some sounds. So, I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before people are going to be in competition with computers when it comes to making music. It's going to be interesting, and it kind of goes back to that conversation we were having, where like the music industry is becoming oversaturated.
Oh, super oversaturated. And I agree. I think Dr. Dre, he was in an interview. I believe he was talking to Kevin Hart on his platform. I think he has a podcast, but he was saying that a lot of the stuff that is being pushed out, it doesn't seem like it has a lot of, I don't know how you would want to say, I'm trying to look for the perfect word. It doesn't have like a lot of artists don't really put a lot of time in comparison to how they would put time back then, right? I think we had this conversation before, how 50 Cent's touring right now I don't know what it's called, but he's singing a lot of his hit songs. Now you're telling me someone that released an album, I want to say it was like 20 years ago, right? It was a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
The Get Rich or Die Trying, selling out arenas, still performing songs that people know and love till this day. And there's a lot of rappers now in the game, even that came up as of recent, they're having a hard time selling out arenas, or they're having a hard time touring at all. And they're saying, substance. A lot of these songs, to me, again, this is my personal opinion, don't have a lot of substance behind them to be like that as a classic record. Dr. Dre, The Chronic, classic. Dr. Dre, 2001, classic. I mean, dude, there's so many albums that you could say that you could pop in now, endless time, endless music. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't put a certain time frame when you pop in like just albums from back then that you can say you can still bump this till today. You know what I'm saying? So, but with AI, I mean, do you think it would benefit an artist to be like, I want to break through that cap that we're at in music to create something different where it would definitely steer people to me, and then this could be automatically a classic? Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I think will eventually happen is we'll end up, you know, learning with this new technology and involving music with it. So we might become a thing we just use it as another tool to like enhance or make our music better. Because I feel like at this point, and for the maybe like the near future, like I mean, feeling and like the stuff that like the human aspect that goes into music,
Yeah.
AI may not be able to perfectly replicate. So that might be one thing that we can still use to complete that AI music if it is like mostly AI generated.
Yeah, definitely, man. And just we had a really good conversation actually on our way back. We actually went to a concert as of recent. We went and saw the Suicide Boys. As you can tell, I'm rocking one of their shirts. Grade 8 2023. Phenomenal concert. First time ever seen them. Been wanting to see them. But just to get your opinion, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, that was a super dope concert. Everybody's live. Everybody's moshing. All the supporting artists that came out were dope.
Yeah, definitely.
We're a little upset that we missed Ramirez. But,
Ramirez,
you know,
oh, bro, don't even remind me, dude. Ramirez, if you're watching this, somehow this comes across your algorithm, bro. I wanted to see you pretty bad because, you know, I've been messing with your music for a good while. You're definitely an artist that just, you know, definitely caught my interest in regards to just the style of music that you're creating. It's tier, man. So definitely I'm a fan. It sucks we missed that because we were standing in line to get some merch. That's why, right? Because I've heard through the grapevine that through the interwebs that the merch for these dudes was just so hard to get. And when we got there, I'm like, hey, dude, let's go get the merch now. But then as we were standing in line, people were like, oh, I think that's Ramirez before. I'm like, dude.
You're like, no. Yeah.
But you had a good time, though.
Yes. Great time, great music, great vibes.
Dude, it was awesome. It was definitely a different setting. When you're saying moshing, at a rap concert, I don't think I've ever really seen it. But with this genre, right, if anybody that's familiar with the Suicide Boys, I don't even want to, I hate putting people in boxes, but I would say, I mean, if anybody that's really looking to the style of music that they make, it's more of a, how would you describe it? I mean, even me, I don't have a hard time kind of putting them in a certain lane. I mean, because I don't think they're in their own lane, I would want to say, right? Because they have definitely gone so big over the past few years. Like I said, I think it was 2016 when I really first started hearing about them, 2016, 2017-ish. And I've been wanting to go one of their concerts, but it's like I've told you before, it's always landing on a day where it's so random on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And of course, I got work to do. You know, I got a job. Of course, you know, I can't really be missing, you know, days to go see a concert on a weekday. So it sucked. But this year, I obviously got some tickets. I'm like, definitely going to go. You know, hit you up, see if you wanted to go. And we went. We had an awesome time. But that was the very first time I've ever seen moshing at a rap concert. But it got live, dude. Yeah. It was live. It was crazy to see too. Just to touch on this topic, right? The immense support that these two dudes got, man. And it was cool. It was pretty mind blowing walking into that arena because I think you said you've been there before, right? You've been in that arena before.
I've never been to that one.
So as soon as we get, usually a lot of the crowd or just all the people show up, I would think at the very end for the main event, correct? That's kind of how usually it works, right? But dude, that stadium was packed from when we got there. It was just, you could see the illumination of everybody's cell phones when one of these artists said to take your phones out. I looked around, bro. There was so many people. Like it was packed to the brim. And you know, it was an awesome time. It was an awesome time. I enjoyed myself, especially, you know, through all the artists. All supporting artists were amazing. Ghostman, who was all the other ones? What's the other two cats? Ramirez. There's two other dudes.
Something Fred,
yes. And these other two homeboys. I forgot their names.
I'm so bad
Horrible names.
Yeah.
But all supporting artists were amazing. But Suicide Boys killed it, man. When they came out, you know, I was vibing. I was reciting some of their lyrics, man. And it was dope to finally see them in concert and just to, like I said, to see that they're back or just they're following, man. They fuck with them so heavy, dude. So heavy. And I remember sending you a picture or like a video, or is it a picture or video of their first concert they did at like this little skate park?
Yeah.
And then to fast forward and see the crowds they're pulling, bro, in that amount of time. I don't know, man. I look at that as like motivation, dude, because I mean, to put work into something that you're really passionate about and you want to follow through with it to see where it's going to take you and it's like the unknown of, you know, where this road leads to. And for them, man, they've reached success through whatever it is that they went through to get to that point. And it's amazing to see, man. It's amazing to see, because just them two as individuals, they've always been just pretty low key. I mean, I always just hear about them releasing music and that's that, or when they're touring, they're not really wanting to be in the limelight, and they're just, you know, about their business, you know, doing the rapping and then putting on a good show and releasing good music. And so far, you know, they've been releasing some really good music. Like I said, I've been following all their stuff as they come out, and I don't think I've been disappointed yet, man. They just keep putting out bangers. But this is like, you said you never really listened to them though, right? So you were kind of going in kind of like, you didn't know what to expect, right?
So like I've listened to them in the past. I heard some of like the early stuff.
But like Ghostman, you did, right?
Like Antarctica and stuff like that.
Antarctica.
Like Ghostman, I knew like a couple of his songs, like Venom and stuff like that, so I knew what he was about as well. But I wasn't like, you know,
Super familiar.
Yeah, but you know, they didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah, man. So for somebody that I guess really hasn't listened to their music, only a couple songs, and for me, both of ours, right, first time seeing them, I would just rate it. It was a hell of a good time, man. Out of 10, I would say it was definitely a 10. Because I don't think anything really, I mean, aside from the long lines of merch, we could knock half a point for that, right? But I mean, that's just all it is. People are always going to go buy merch and they want something to remember that day. So, I mean, that was cool. The parking sucked though. That was late. I was like, dude, how are they going to sell us parking? So the situation with the parking, this is what's super lame about this. And I bet other people have probably experienced this. So we got parking right across from the arena. I think I paid like $50 for it, right? I'm like, hey, no worries. We'll get there. We'll park. We'll zoom over across. Cool. No, it wasn't that. The case was that we had to go around in the parking garage and try to find a location. We went around the whole thing. And at the very end, homeboy that was directing the traffic is like, yo, there's a spot right here. Yeah. And then it's like this little spot where you're like, dude, I don't even know if I can back up into this. But lo and behold, you managed to do it. You had a sick driving skills. You backed up into it. And boom, we got in. But just to go around the whole thing, it was just like a waste of time. I would have said, okay, I'll knock half a point for that.
Yeah.
So that's a 9.5 out of 10 for the full experience for sure. But the concert was amazing, but the parking sucked. But yeah, that was probably the worst thing of it all, right? So yeah. For a Monday, it wasn't that bad too, right? Yeah. Not bad, but the prices of the beer, bro. Let's talk about the prices of the beer. So, never been to the Climate Pledge. First, again, this is the first time we both went. I don't think I've ever heard of a place that's cashless. Have you? That was the first time I said that, but I'll continue the story. But I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to?
A couple of times I've experienced it.
Yeah.
More and more recently, I think at concerts they're starting to
just go cashless.
Yeah.
So yours truly didn't know that, right? Bought 2 beers. For 2 beers, almost $40. I could not, dude. My jaw almost dropped, bro. You know, you saw my reaction. I'm like, dude, are you serious? But I guess that's just how this arena has to make their money. It is what it is, you know? Mm-hmm. So I guess you can expect it because I got football games. For any people that have gone to football games or whatever, or basketball games, they always like triples, quadruple, raise their prices, and they just try to make their money, you know, because you know the people are going to buy it because of the convenience of buying it there. Yeah. But I just couldn't believe it. That for one, beer is expensive. 2, cashless registers. I'm like, I've never even heard of this. I think I think I asked them if they take Apple Pay too. They said they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just card.
Yeah.
So, but I guess they had an option too where you could load up their own little like debit card they have at their little kiosk. You just deposit money in there, and then from there you can get the card and then use it. But like, what's the difference of just using your card?
Your cash.
Yeah, it's like, or your cash. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, man. That to me. See, the one I'm talking about, like, I'm deducting points from this, but I don't want to affect the fact that the concert was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just little things like that, like, just like, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. I don't know. I think I'm just getting old. That the technology is finally reaching up to us, where it's just like, I'm so unfamiliar with what's going on, bro.
Everything is changing so fast, you know. And then like even you have like apps like Cash App and like Venmo,
but
then they're like also like becoming their own bank, or they are their own bank, and they're like, and they also like handle crypto and everything else. So you're like, you know, currency is just changing in general how it's even going to be handled. So
for sure. What do you? I don't think I've ever talked to you about this. This would be a cool opportunity to talk about. But what do you think about the whole concept behind crypto? Because I know my boy Brett, he's definitely a pioneer for crypto. I think it's an awesome idea just because of the mere fact that, of course, I mean, to really put it into the most simplest terms, that you control your money. Nobody else has control of that. How you spend it, they can't track it. You know, it's yours, right? But what do you think about that overall? Just the idea of crypto or what it is and how they're trying to utilize it.
Yeah, so like in general, I mean, I'm not like a super crypto follower or
Yeah.
anything like that. I've purchased some. I have gotten some Dogecoin.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, so you invested in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I should have sold when it was like high in the 60s. I was like, oh goodness, but you know, to the moon.
Yeah,
It'll
to the
come back,
moon. To
it'll
the
come back.
moon.
I'm waiting on it.
Yeah. Oh, so you still have some invested in
Yeah,
it,
I
right?
still have it. I was like, why not? But it's not a lot, you know. Just like some like, in my theory, it's like when I go to the casino or something. I might have like $20. Like I'm going there expecting to lose that $20. Like it's not going to be like anything. That's my like fun for the night. So that's how I took it when I invested in that type of stuff. I didn't, like, I've seen posts online where people are like, yeah, I convinced my like father-in-law to like invest, and they invested like their whole savings, and now it's like dropped.
Yeah.
Like, well, good job. It's like,
dude.
now what are you gonna do? Like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So, but the overall, like, you know, cryptocurrency, I feel like it's an interesting concept. I feel like it's definitely like the way of the future. There's a lot of things that they got to work on and like work out, and it's gonna be a process. Like, you know, getting all the different governments on board and like
For sure.
slowly moving, like, you know, it's like probably from whenever credit cards and like debit cards first came out, like that whole process, like people didn't really want to like buy into that, so it might take some time. But there's some good stuff. There's some more safety in it, but you know,
Definitely no. I think the same way, man. It's well, first of all, it sucks for those people that really went into that, because I've heard some stories, bro. I think Roxy touched on a story like that where one of her homies, I believe, was up. I don't know which coin he invested in, but he was up like 180,000, and I guess Roxy suggested that he cash out. He didn't. Everything just plummeted from there, and it just, it didn't look too good, Yeah. And it sucks, man. I mean, it's a risk, right? With anything. I think just crypto in general, if you're really in it to make money or make a quick buck, it's really definitely one of those things where you really got to pay close attention to. Again, just from my perspective, I'm not really a guru at this stuff, but it's just, I would say like the stock markets, and it's volatile at the end of the day, right? People need to definitely do their due diligence to see which coin they should invest in. But I mean, for its sole purpose, right? I definitely think it's an awesome idea that should be implemented in it. But of course, the U.S. can't track how people spend it, what they're being passed, like what they're paying for, or the money transfers, all this. And it's funny to me that they try to make this defense that there could be a lot of money laundering. But what does it mean that they're not doing it right now with money? You know what I'm saying? It's what is the difference? And that's the thing that really, again, I'm not really much of a political head. I don't really deep dive into this stuff all the way to its core. But just when they try to use anything against it, to where they try to make it look like it's a horrendous thing, that money's just the legal tender now, like cash is the way to go. Sure, but it's more of like less like you're trying to more like. You're trying to
what we're doing.
Exactly. You're trying to shame this more for trying to benefit you for something that you have full control of with the Federal Reserve. And it's like, if you have no control over it, that's when they have a problem with it. That's like the one thing that I think they really do not want this thing to pop off, right? Or to legalize or whatever. Because I don't know if you heard, I think they were saying that they try to do their own coin. It's like I forgot the proper name for it, but they're trying to create their own type of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I heard of something a little bit about it. I was like, oh, I mean, of course.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to do it, right? It's like coincidence. Yeah. Okay. But it's a bad idea, though, right? Only you guys can do it, but not anybody else. See, it's so stupid with that, man, that it's hypocrisy at its finest. Sorry, I butchered that, but no, it's just stupid that they think that way, but for it to be beneficial for the people, that's where they gotta yank the cord. Like, no, that's not gonna happen, man. But I don't know, dude. I'm all for it. I'm sure a lot of people are all for it. So, but yeah, man, that's my opinion on that. So, which ones have you say Dogecoin's the only one that you've been in?
And Bipto. Or Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay. How's it what was it at its highest actually?
I never really fully tracked it. I could be wrong, but I believe, like, when I see it, it was like high 40s, like 43 or something.
Holy moly.
Like that.
For one Bitcoin.
But it was like, yeah, for one Bitcoin, but I think it's dropped since then. It's been a while. Like the highest I saw it get to.
Can you imagine the first people that were investing in this at the very beginning, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my word. And it's crazy to think that a lot of people really made millions off this, dude. And it was just like I mean, I don't know if this is around the same time or during the same wave, but remember when the whole GameStop thing?
Oh yeah.
So
And AMC too.
So they actually made a movie about that. You know that, right?
Oh, no way.
I think I want to say it's on Netflix. I'm not too sure, but I did hear that they're making a series or it's a movie about that. But I don't want to say that trend started happening around that time, right?
Yeah,
Where
that
they
was
were like
all
pumping all these coins and then going from there. Then Doge became the notable one where
Yep.
they were pumping and then people were making just money like crazy. And then they pull out. You know what I'm saying? So, so now we're talking about Doge. It's been a long time rumor. I don't know if it's true as of now, as of current. Elon Musk saying he was going to implement that with X.
Interesting. I mean, he is a supporter of it, so
Oh yeah, he is. He is.
it wouldn't surprise me,
Right.
honestly.
What do you think about him? What he did with Twitter? I'm gonna get your opinion on that.
Well, I'm not a big Twitter follower, but I mean, I've had my Twitter since like 2009.
Dang, you're an
So-
OG, man.
But I mean,
How long? When did it originate? When did it come out?
I think around that time.
Around that. Damn, so you're an OG.
Yeah, but
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it was like, I mean, obviously changed so much since then, but
Yeah.
I've never been like like actively
Full-blown,
like the
like,
whole time,
following,
and like
tweeting and all
sometimes
that.
I'll get
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be on like my Twitter like binge, but then I'll like get off of it. But I mean, I haven't really been on it since it's been X,
Yeah.
so I don't know how much it's changed. But from what people's opinion, I mean,
They love it.
some people love it, some people hate it. I mean, I feel like the platform, what he's trying to do with it, is a good idea. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's just trying to allow for anybody to speak on it, and like, and non-threatening, of course. Like there's certain guidelines still, but like allow people to vocalize and say what needs to be said, and as a human, I feel like that's just all right.
Right. I think that's honestly the way I understand it. That's why he did it, because there was so much suppression of real news going out. A lot of stuff was being censored, and I think that's where it becomes a slippery slope, right? Where we really should know what's going on first and foremost. Like people are like, especially just with the spreading of misinformation, with people actually covering these live events that are happening as they are and really putting it out raw, unedited, and all that. I can understand, why I think Elon wanted this to be more of like an open source where anything goes, right? Pretty much. And I think that's what it's become, really. But it's really interesting that he's changing the course of what, like, Twitter was just tweeting back in the days. Then they moved to sharing. I mean, I think you were able to share photos. Then they moved to sharing videos and all that stuff. I've heard about that. He's actually implementing being able to stream live from it.
Wow.
So it's becoming its own platform, like kind of similar to what Twitch is doing, Kick and all that. So now he's embedding a bunch of this stuff in it. And I've heard this from somewhere. And again, I think people that are watching this can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments when this drops. He named it X because he wants to. It's pretty much making the reference to when they say X marks the spot. So it's like an all one-stop shop. Yeah, exactly. So he wants to build this I guess, this app where you can do a multitude of things, like just streaming, tweeting, sharing photos, videos. He also, I think he said he wanted to implement cryptocurrency in that too as well. So, dude, I mean, the dude's ahead of his time, man. Hey, he's not the smartest dude. He's not I call him the real life Tony Stark, dude, because this dude
done a
is.
lot.
Oh man, he's done a lot, man. Would you mind getting a Tesla or not?
I would get a Tesla, but the Tesla that I would get would be the Plaid.
Which
The
one?
Plaid.
That's the one that you were telling me that's like super crazy fast, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen, dude, those things are
That'd be
ridiculous, man. What do you think about the Cybertruck?
Not a fan.
None of it.
Not a fan.
It looks like it came out of that. Somebody said it looks like it came straight out of Minecraft.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Dude,
Yeah.
but that thing can penetrate some damage, man. I think my boy Brad was telling me about this, that there was a video of Joe Rogan trying to test out the damage, I guess, control of how much damage this Cybertruck can do, and he hit it with this arrow that is like a on impact explosive.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if it. I don't remember if my boy was saying that it like caused so much damage to it or whatever. But I mean, it's able to withstand damage from what like Elon Musk said. That the purpose of this is to, like, for it to withstand a lot of damage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn. So you have like a pretty much bulletproof like car.
Yeah, that's
basically,
what I
right?
think. Yeah, isn't the windows like bulletproof or something?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would think so, right? If it's like bulletproof with that arrow, if it didn't sustain that damage, I want to see why not. You know what I'm saying?
That is crazy.
But it's like, what does that tell you, right? Like, if you're gonna have like something like that rolling around here, it's like, dang, is it that bad that, you know? I mean, the world is getting crazy nowadays, you know, with crime spiking, especially where we're at right here in the Seattle area. It's getting pretty bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, maybe having a Cybertruck isn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
You're protected in there.
It's crazy, dude. It is nuts, man.
Yeah. I mean, how about you? How do you feel about like the whole electric vehicle move? And, you know, is there any that you like?
I mean, the only one that I really would be interested in is really getting a Tesla as well. There's some other cool, I guess a lot of other car manufacturers are jumping into the game as well and really trying to get traction within this. I think I did see that the DeLorean was coming back. They were trying to make EV, and I've seen some, I guess, renditions or sketches of this thing. It looks pretty sick. I'm like, dude. So there's a lot of cars that are coming out, even trucks, SUVs that are coming out. That are going to be EV. So I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, I would right now as it sits, I definitely wouldn't mind getting a Tesla. What is the SUV one called? The big one?
I think
it's like the butterfly doors. Is the butterfly doors?
Yeah, the butterfly doors are like lift up like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the Model X.
Model X. I think it is the Model X. I'm not sure, but I would only get that one.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, family man, of course, you know, space for the family. So that's the only one I would get. But
they also have that in a plaid version too.
Oh, really? Damn, dude.
You got to take them to daycare. You got your lane.
Instant like 0 to 60 in like 0.15 or 1.5 seconds, or something like that. Like, dude, dude, I've seen videos where these cars just smoke any gas powered vehicle just right off rib. You know what I'm saying? So it's like instant power. It almost like it's almost kind of funny how they're like street legal for that much. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's really wanted to just, you know, I'm sure those things can outrun cops, right?
Oh, I'm sure. But then like they might suffer like top end, you know, like
they'll top out estimation. Like it's instant power, but it'll top out like at 140, 160, whatever. Something like that. Okay. So
and like it might like not be as fast, like acceleration once it gets at the higher speed.
Yeah. So gas powered is more like it'll sustain it. It'll sustain
well, they got like
right?
superchargers and like turbos. So, you know, like once they're still hitting like 130, they can still be like pushing for. I mean, but at the same time, you always got instant torque, the full torque.
Yeah.
EVs, So I mean,
I remember the very first time that I saw a Tesla like up close, and I'm like, "What kind of fucking car is this?" And the mere fact that it didn't make any noise, like, dude, like, what the hell? Am I tripping? Or like it's like super quiet. You know what I'm saying?
The first time for me is like I didn't even realize they were even like a thing, but this was probably back in like 2013.
Yeah, when they first you started to really see them. Now you see them everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
you know
like we're in like downtown Tacoma, like walking through the city, and then one of the friends I was with, he was like, "Oh, that's a Tesla." I'm like, "What's a Tesla?" And I'm like, he's like, you know, he's a super
what
like,
ancient thing is this
and stuff. He's like, "It's an electric vehicle." He's like, "Watch, you're not gonna hear a single thing when it drives by. Like it drives up, quiet, nothing."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." I was like, look, the times we're in now, like that was 2013. Now look at us, 10 years later.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I've caught a few Ubers in one before when we were in Vegas, when the wife and I were in Vegas. Super quiet, bro. Yeah. Super quiet and, you know, comfortable too. They're comfortable. They're nice, man. I mean, I can't knock them, dude. They're nice vehicles, but a little pricey, a little on the hefty side in regards to price. But I mean, as would I get one? I guess to answer your question, we went off on a little, just a long answer. Would I get one? I definitely would get one. I would. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. But the negatives of it, of course, and again, this is just me because I never owned one, of course. Maybe soon. Just the whole charging it, like if you're traveling long distance, right? That's where I kind of have a lot of, I'm kind of on the fence about, because obviously gas compared to electric, gas just fuel up. See another gas station, you're close to, you know, being on it, you fill up again, boom, you can go another couple 300 miles or whatever. EVs, I think you gotta like plan it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make sure you're gonna hit like certain charging stations along the way to be sure that I want to make it. Then you gotta wait for your charge, depending on how long it ever takes. I'm guessing these things take a few hours to charge, right? Or like an hour charges you like half.
Yeah, like certain ones. But then like I know like Tesla, they have like their superchargers, which I believe some people told me like it's like 15 minutes or something.
Oh, no way.
15 to 30 minutes or something. Wow. That's what the superchargers though.
Okay. So the ones that are supercharged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's
the
for like
highest
Teslas.
tier, right?
No, just like Teslas that have that capability.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
but I mean, like, yeah, it's still versus like if you're like driving in a car like with gas, you can take 5 minutes to fill up,
Yeah.
and then but versus like sitting for 15, 30, 45 minutes max, like
Okay. Yeah, man. But see, waiting time to where you can go to a gas station, pump it, less than 10 minutes.
yeah, exactly.
Next thing
Yeah.
you're done. Off we go. See, that's where I kind of have, I don't know, questions, I guess. But somewhere, if I'm driving locally around here, doing my thing, I wouldn't mind it, It'd definitely be convenient because you're saving that much gas and all that. So, I don't know. I mean, I think the state of Washington that we live in, they give you money back if you get one, right?
Yeah, like
that.
yeah, tax benefit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think the goal for them is, I think this is what I've heard. By 2035, they want to have everything EV.
Yep.
I'm like, bro,
Like no more gas vehicles sold and stuff.
really? So that's my question. So what are they gonna do for someone like, I guess me? I have a little '99 Honda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what would they do if I drive it illegal?
I think-
Slap me with like
so
a
that's
freaking
like-
fat ticket.
I think there's gonna be like no more new vehicles are gonna be sold.
Oh, no more gas
in the
powered.
state. Like I think other states they can still sell it, but like no more new vehicle sales in Washington that are like gas powered.
Okay, interesting. Okay. So now that's kind of crazy, right? So would that drive up the price for these older cars that they're trying to sell like on the private market?
I mean, I think it would.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think it would, like
will.
certain, especially because like I mean, they're gonna become classic. Some of these cars in their own right, but others are just gonna kind of like fall apart.
Yeah, it's like someone that has like a '99 Buick though. Check the sleep up behind, right? Throw it up.
Yeah.
20 racks. You know what I'm saying? And you never know. Somebody might want to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the days, in my Honda days, right? I mean, I still own a Honda. I love Hondas. Reliable as fuck. But back in the day, I was in the Hondas and all that, the tuner scene, right? And I had I had a 2000 Honda Civic Si electric pearl blue. Then I had a Milano red 99 Honda Civic Si. Fast forward now, 2023, 2022. I remember I was looking for a CRV to buy for a commuter, and I saw this car for sale on Craigslist, and the gentleman that actually was selling that car had a 2000 Honda Civic Si black though, right? Mm-hmm. So check this out. With motor not installed in the car, the shell just sitting as is. I believe he wanted like 7 racks, right? Because he was saying that these cars are classics, and that's the first time I heard. I'm like, classics, really? And he was saying that he was reading a magazine that how like those year of cars, like from the 99s, well, 96 to 2000s are considered classics.
Yeah,
now.
they were pretty good.
And it when I heard that, it didn't hit me, but when I was driving, like, yo, have we really passed by time that these things are like how someone would look at how someone would look like at a 69 Chevelle. Mm-hmm. Or a Camaro or whatever, like a classic Trans Am. Mm-hmm. We're looking at these cars that I was driving in high school, which is crazy to think. Like, yo, those are classics. Yeah, bro.
You gotta think.
I feel old, man. I think that's what it comes down to. I just feel old.
Yeah, no, I agree there, but I feel like it's also like what contributed like for those ones being considered classics might be because like I mean obviously they are iconic. I mean, they were like the tuners like heaven because you can do so much to them and they can make so much power. But also the help of like movies like Fast and Furious and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like in the very first original one when they were like hijacking those trucks.
Oh dude, that was the movie that set out for me. That was the movie.
You know how many people went off afterwards getting Hondas and like started putting underglow on it, lowering them and stuff like that.
That movie. So cool thing that we're on. Cool. It's cool that we're on that topic, right? That movie for a lot of people has changed. Like has literally drew them to be in that import scene. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For me, it did.
Yes.
Big time, bro. Like, it was something at that time, right? I think I was living in, I want to say I was visiting here. I have relatives that live here, and I was visiting, right? I went back to, I came from Eastern Washington, Lake Chelan, for all the people do your Googles. I used to come from that area. I used to live around that area, small town Pateras. But it blew my mind. Like, yo, these cars are the coolest thing I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And for a while, it stuck for a few years. I mean, it's still there here and there, right? You still see a couple cars that are tuned up, kind of.
Yeah.
Not as much. But there was a point in time, I would say like around the year 2006, 2007 was like super heavy, bro. Yeah. And I'm like, but think about it, right? That movie alone is like the holy grail for, I would want to say the best car movie that exists.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I mean, this definitely like a classic. One in the books for me is like there's so many fond memories and so many inspired me into so many different types of hobbies too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
really. So like what? Like not just the car scene, but what other hobbies?
I mean, I guess just like being like mechanics and like learning, I guess more like in the car scene.
In the car
hobby,
scene.
you
Okay.
know?
Okay.
Like just working on your car, like tuning it up, like, you know, trying to like get the fastest you can be,
Yeah.
but also like finding a community in the car scene, right?
For sure. For sure.
Like because the car scene community is huge, and then finding your own like club or your own little niche within it.
Because there's so many different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Honda scene, the Integra. I mean, Honda's Integra, but like maybe the Toyota scene, you know, the BMW, Audi. So many. You're right. So it's like the tree, and then it's multiple little branches, bro. You know, that is crazy, dude. That is crazy. You know, damn, dude. I love this. All these conversations come about. I was watching in the realms of cars. There's this gentleman in Japan that is like the master wide body kit installer for Porsches.
Oh wow.
And it's a dude where like this, I was watching a little bit of this little just mini docu-series, and this dude's known all over. I guess from what it seemed like, they know him from all over the world. And if he works on your car, it's like
Yeah, it's like prized possession.
prized possession.
Yeah.
But dude, the way he works on these Porsches and the way they come out, super sick. If you're a fan of the wide bodies and then like the girthy tires, it looks sick.
Is it like the same person who does like the Liberty Walk, or is it like a different like?
I'm not sure, but he has that kind of like long hairish to his shoulders.
I think I've
and he
seen
always
him,
wears like sandals.
Yeah.
So, dude, but this dude, whatever he does, he's an artist and a master at his craft to create something that just bam stands out. But something like that, right? There's a club for that. Some people don't like it, some people love it.
Yeah.
But it's like its own niche where it's known for all over the world. But that had to start somewhere, right? Like that had it could have been for the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, but that's what I say. That movie started a lot of things for a lot of people. Even till this day, man, like it's always talked about how that was like when it came out, nobody would see that was it was crazy because the hype for it, even if I can remember, it was just a movie where you hear about it, oh, it has to do about cars and the title, Fast and Furious. Wonder what it's about. Vin Diesel at that time, I mean, again, this is back in the days, right? Nobody really knew. I mean, for me, Vin Diesel was just like he was coming out from being like an indie actor from all these small films. Paul Walker, may he rest in peace. He was like one of those kind of coming up too. Like everybody in that movie was just barely starting their career. And look what it started for them, bro.
Yeah.
Now the more I talk about it, that movie was, for what it was back in the days, man, that definitely started a massive, I guess, following for a lot of people, bro. I mean, we're still talking about today. Look at that, 2023. When did that movie release?
Oh, the first one. It was like 2001, maybe.
2001,
or like that,
bro.
or like something.
Dude, like 22 years ago.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Oh my god! You're like, we both realized, bro, that 20 plus years ago, dog.
Yeah.
Time flies, man. I'm telling you, man. It's such a crazy thing to look back at. Like, you know, a lot of stuff that influenced our time back then, right? I mean, we went from talking about music, cars, but everything just, oh, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. No, man, but Fast and Furious, definitely the best one. People can argue and say, no, it was Too Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. They all had their cool things, right? But let's be real. For me, I stopped watching it. I think it was after Tokyo Drift. That was like my last one. I was like, oh, okay, man, it's kind of getting out of the realms of cars itself. Cool, they might throw some sweet rides in there, here and there, but I think it just became more of like an action-packed, like action film.
Yeah.
It just steered away. And again, let's just be real. Let's just keep it real. You know, it was cool seeing all these different actors jump in the movies, but I mean, just keep it about the cars, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say for me, like going back real quick, like with I feel like the thing that helps help with like the car community, and some people may not like it, but like just because they're like, oh, they're loud, or like they're like causing havoc or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also like the art aspect of it. Like people are able to express themselves and like kind of like show like them through the car.
For sure.
You know, like some people are not always about like going fast or tuning, and sometimes it's just literally
Looking
straight
clean.
Up, like
looking clean, adding those little elements to where it would make it pop. Like even like the smallest things. So something similar like this, right? Like somebody was selling this because I have a CRV, right? And they were selling this only in Japan, emergency light that's orange instead of red. And that little part, like if they see that, it's like, oh, damn, that's a rare part.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, right? Like if you have something that nobody else has and they deem like it's original OEM part, stuff like that, right? With like they're little subtle things, but they're so appealing to the eye, right? Or some people go all out and they do like the everything stock, but their rims alone are like $4,000.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like things like that where it's like you can get crafty with it. Or there's people that just go all out. Motor super clean, nice ass rims, spotless paint, like paint job, it's super clean inside, and like a banging sound system.
Yeah,
like that, right?
everything.
So there's like there's so many things like that people have done where, like you said, everybody has their own ways of how they can modify their car or how it represents them in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like you said, anybody that just keeps their stuff clean. They can just lower it, boom, clean, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Damn, dude, I never thought about that.
Things, yeah.
It's crazy, right? No, it's insane, man.
And then in regards to like the Fast and Furious series, I mean, yeah, after for me, like I think it was Fast 5. Literally, like
You're following along, man. You were just saying, I'm not gonna give up on it.
I was like, I mean, around like Tokyo Drift, I was like, what's going on here? Like they changing some stuff up, but it's okay, it's good. Like like it for its worth. And like it was confusing at first, they're like changing up the order of everything.
Yeah.
But if you didn't follow, I'm glad that one person came back.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. No, definitely, man. No, but just on the topic of movies, man, have you with this whole? I think it's their union's called SAG. Is it SAG, the movies union? How they were on strike for a while. Have you been following up with that?
I haven't been like keeping up to it. I know like actor or writers were like, and actors are.
I think it's actors too. I believe
we're all like upset with some stuff, and yeah, I mean, I feel like they should deserve their fair pay. And
for sure.
I mean, like, if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be anything,
right?
Yeah, like we would be enjoying the things that we enjoy, and like, the stuff that they know. If it wasn't for them, everything would be half baked for sure. So
I think this goes back into full circle because, of course, AI. They were starting to implement a lot of AI stuff. So no, man. But in regards to just movies, right? Sorry, I went off topic on that one, but I was just curious to know if you knew about them. But as of now, do you find it that movies nowadays don't have a lot of? I mean, there's a lot of good movies that are coming out, depending what genre of movies people like or whatever. But as of late, have there been any movies that you've been just like eager to watch, like, oh, I'm definitely gonna go watch that in theaters, something that you really looked forward to, where it's like you saw the trailer or you heard about it, like they were putting this movie together, you're like, oh damn, I need to go see that and go watch it?
The most recent ones I can think of, because I can't think at the top of my head of like any like upcoming, but past most recent ones would be, there's two of them. It's one, the Avatar, The Way of the Water.
Okay.
The first one I was like super hyped about. I liked it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm ready to see the second part."
Yeah.
And then the other one was Top Gun, the new one.
Dude,
we went and saw it on opening day.
Dude,
it was great.
So I've never seen the first one. I think I want to say it was last year in Christmas, a little bit I think a couple days before Christmas, we were watching the original one. And it was cool. I mean, like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen it. The original one was, the first one was last year, right? Christmas time. I saw the second one, dude. Phenomenal movie. Like I was like, I can understand. There was this one dude at work. He said that he saw that movie in theaters 20 times.
Dude, I
was like, that good? And I'm like, okay. Some people, I'm like, I don't know. But that movie, for whatever reason, it seemed like it had like a cult-like following. Right? It was that movie where a number two, it just seemed to me like a number two should have been made a while ago. But even the fact that it was made as of recent and it pulled in that much, it was like, dang, it was that much successful even till this day.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I feel like a big factor in that is like the fan base is love of aviation.
Okay. There it is.
So
you think that's what it was?
I mean, yeah, I mean that movie's all about like fast jets and like
Dude, it made me want to fly. It made me want to fly a jet, dog. Like, even though I'm afraid of skies and I'm afraid of flying, dude. I hate flying, bro. I hate flying. And I gotta give respect. So kudos. We're recording this today is Veterans Day.
Oh, it is. Yep.
So for all our veterans, thank you for fighting for our country. Much respect and much love. And it's also definitely condolences for all those that are not here with us anymore. But definitely thank the troops for everything you've done. Definitely from the podcast, of course. But yet dude, kudos to those people that, dude, how many G-force, for people to know, do you feel like, I mean, I can only imagine, bro, flying a jet, that thing, and you're just like moving, maneuvering, and it's so sick, right? Like just seeing one of those things fly or just seeing videos of how these things fly and all that. Kudos to those who get behind the cockpit of those things because, dude, I wouldn't even dare to even step myself in, even with the training, bro. Like, even if they said, yo, we'll pay you X money. No, dude. No, there's no way. But, and also, did Tom Cruise really flew that jet, didn't he?
Yeah, he flew some of the jets. Yeah, I don't.
Oh my god, dude, that dude,
Yeah,
that man does everything. I swear.
I don't think he can fly the military ones, but like, yeah, he has his own like pilot's license.
Yeah,
and he uses endorsements up to be able to like fly like the jets and do like stunts.
Dude, yeah, like I said, that man, he does it. He does it all, bro. Doesn't he do his own stunts too?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's crazy.
Much respect, Tom Cruise. Yeah. You're a sick actor, man. And dude, yeah, but that movie was definitely from the beginning to the end was awesome. And I'm wondering and curious to know if there's gonna be a part 3. I also want to ask your opinion too in that movie. Who was the enemy? They never say who it was though, right? They never do. They never show like a flag or anything indicating who it was.
I'm pretty sure it was Russia.
You sure? Because I
Because
really
they
don't.
talked about they had their brand new jets, like their 6th generation.
Okay, so it was
Yeah,
Russia.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was like the SU. I forgot what the number.
Okay, because I remember there was an article that they were saying that they didn't want to make any indications that it was China, of course, because of the films. You know, like they don't. If they put certain things in films and they wanted to release over there because there's a huge market, you know, for movies to obviously, you know, premiere over there, they don't want to make anything offensive. So they want to make sure that they don't want to make any references to that it's China or anything, you know, from that area.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
So that's why they're saying like in that movie, a lot of people were saying, well, who was it that we were, you know, going up against or whatever?
So, I mean, if it wasn't distinctly like, you know, but I think they said something about it being in the news, like 6th generation. Or
Okay.
So,
So
like, if it wasn't Russia,
it was Mother Russia. Okay.
Like
Fair enough.
them portrayed. Because it's like video games too, you know, like Call of Duty or Battlefield and stuff like that. It's always like,
Russia.
yeah.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 3, I think that's what it was. It was
Like,
Russia.
why is it
No,
always
2. It was number 2.
Yeah. Even in Call of Duty, yeah.
That's crazy, yeah. I mean, dude, why can't we just come up with like a fake country?
like
that's why I understand. Like, why does it have to be like an actual legit country, and I just make it somewhere?
They can make their own nations. It doesn't have to be, you know.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It can be
I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I mean, I'm right there
how
with
do these developers come up with that? But there's so much that goes into the game. You know what? I'm gonna go on a tangent. Speaking of Call of Duty, fuck that. So I'm happy that this new game came out. I'm an avid gamer. My boy is here too. We both like the game. We like to get together and caught it up. You know, so as of today, the new Call of Duty released for all platforms, PC, Xbox, PS5, you name it, whatever you game on, it's out, you know, have at it. But the one thing that I'm very I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is at the end of the day, right? I have no control over it. So they pretty much made it clear that this game, in its simplest terms, was a $70 DLC. Meaning, for people that obviously don't follow gaming, it's pretty much not a new game, but in addition to the game that came out the year before, and you're paying the premium $70 for this new game, quote unquote, but it's not really a new game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and dude, so they released also I think it was like someone actually leaked details about how these devs were working night and day, weekends. I think it said it took them like 16 months to make all like the new features, the new gameplay, the storyline. I'm guessing graphics, movement. Because you and I know, right, that this last game was horrendous. For me, I just enjoyed it because I like getting on, with the boys and, have a good time and just have a few laughs and just play together and just, game it up. But for me, from the aspect of movement and all that stuff, I look into more things a little bit more, into depth. It was just a crappy game, right? Fast forward, they gave us the game that we were asking since the beginning. So you're telling me you waited all this time, making us pay $70 more to give us something that we've been wanting since that release? Dude, fuck that, dude. That is baloney. And not to think like they say they gave us a brand new game. No, it's not. It's not. It's just an addition, but you're gonna have to cuff up $70. And dude, I mean, this is what I don't get. People were like, they're happy that we got what we wanted, but they're not really ranting and just like really calling out these people for, you know, what they're doing. It's just straight robbery at the end of the day, bro. Like, you're really gonna,
I mean,
you know, they're like, oh, let's patch this up, but hey, we're gonna charge you $70. Dude, I just find it's crazy to me how this all came about, man. I mean, I don't get why these companies don't even listen to their you know, their fans or just their people that play their games to really think about, well, if I'm running a multi-billion-dollar business, it would be kind of common sense that I would want to pay attention to what people like and don't like. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But what do you think about that? Sorry, I went on a little
you're good,
rant. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just annoying.
Yeah.
I'm more annoyed, but I think I let my steam go over the past couple of days. Like, all right, it is what it is. I cannot do nothing about it. I don't control it, so whatever, you know.
And you said the developers have like released that, like it's basically a DLC.
That's what they pretty much.
Passing.
I want to say that's pretty much what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just the way I kind of perceived it, right? Like the way people were talking about it within in the comments.
Yeah.
They're like, so it is really pretty much a $70 DLC.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and some people paid $100, bro.
Yeah, for like the
some people paid like
package.
I think $149.99 for like the prestige.
Yeah, no,
bro. No, man, no.
I mean, they probably didn't want to break their like yearly release of a new COD thing, which they should have done is probably like pushed it out another year because it was. I mean, they're putting all this time and effort in for this game. What's it gonna be next year when they have to release a different game?
Well, man, yeah, exactly right. There's so many questions now how it's going to go about the next couple of releases, because they were talking about how they want to branch out and make different storylines for different characters. But I'm also thinking, man, you know, again, Activision, Sledgehammer, Raven, Infinity Ward, like, you would think that at this time, with all their resources and money that they got to spend, they would steer in a different direction and really give us a game that will just outcompete every other single first-person shooter, you know, because we're in the wave of battle royales right now. I think that's really where things are really steering to, right? You have Fortnite, you have Apex, you have PUBG, then you have Warzone. I mean, I don't understand why we're still stuck on these old stories where, like, we've already seen Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. Why is it that we gotta like repeat the same thing just because it's remastered? Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, they're literally bringing it back from literally 10.
Like, let's just take it off the shelf, dust it off, and just, you know, polish it up. There you go. Resell it.
Like, and
Dude,
like,
I don't get it. I just don't get it. They changed some of the things in the storyline. Sure, yeah, interesting. But man, at this point, you know, I don't know, man. I think going forward, especially after this one, for me, again, I'm speaking for myself, I'm definitely gonna have to see. I would have to see something very different for me to actually purchase the next one. Because at the end of the day, Warzone's free to play, right?
Yeah.
So for anything else, Call of Duty, just in general, for them pushing out a new game, it's got to be something completely new, something that's I just haven't seen or whatever.
They're gonna have to
go from there.
They're gonna have to change it. Like, you know, when Battle Royales first came out, I mean, they're starting to get old now. They've been around for a few years now.
They've been. I think that I remember hearing about Battle Royale was PUBG. That was like, was that the first one?
Yep. I think that was like, you know,
one of the ones, right? And then of course Fortnite came out, and then Blackout for I think Black Ops 4. Was it Black Ops 4? Black Ops 3? But it was Blackout. That was like their Warzone right back in the day, which was phenomenal. That one, again, that one had a lot of people really honed in to Call of Duty's Battle Royale. Then they changed a bunch of stuff when they went to Warzone, and Warzone was cool for what it was. They made definitely upgrades from Blackout, and then just tanked. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I don't get it. It's just mind blowing to me.
That's also like one question I always like, you know, like it's interesting because, like, you know, I've brought this up before, and it's like, you know, now with the battle royals and like now they have battle passes and these other things, like,
don't even.
So they're making so much more money off like skins and like stuff because they can't really be adding like pay to win stuff because then people get mad about it, right? So a bunch of skins and like these other contents that they could probably whip up honestly pretty fast. They probably have a whole system for it, right?
Yeah.
So it probably takes minimum effort or time and cost to them, and they're selling it and making probably some real good money off of it. But what's the changes in the games? Like, what's these improvements year to year? Like, I mean, yeah, we still pay for the game. We might get free, like, maps and stuff, right?
Yeah.
To, like, before we had to pay for our DLCs. But, I mean, for the amount of money I'm guaranteed they're making versus like before, they should be able to like enhance the game a lot more and make these new like breaking steps that like change the game in like the shooter industry. And
no, I agree, dude. I agree. I mean, I think at this point they're really just honing in on what they can capitalize off in regards to money. It just seems that they're not truly giving these gamers the experience that at this point with technology, man, that they could really put out. I mean, I think I'm more excited now. I mean, like, yeah, the new one's out. Like I said, as we're recording this, new one's already out. Like, it doesn't even find me eager to play it. I haven't even played. Like, I played the beta, right? But I haven't played the fully released game that's out now. Which we can only play multiplayer. Warzone doesn't drop, I think, until December. But I'm just like, like whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't really give me that drive to get back to it. And that's just what it is, man. I think people are going to fatigue. Some people may just be hardcore Call of Duty fans. Just run with it. I don't know, man. But it's definitely going to take, like I said, for this next one, man. I don't know. Something's got to be different, man. Hopefully something changes. But in regards to gaming, of course, we've dove into the gaming pool of things. Grand Theft Auto 6, bro. They announced it that December. So this is
crazy. Did they really announce it? I thought like maybe some clickbait.
Dude, so check this out.
It's delayed again.
Somebody in Reddit made a bet like this past week. They're like, dude, if they release info or a trailer drops on Thursday, I will drink my own urine. Dude, I don't know if he followed through with it, bro, but I'm like, people were lighting, like they were calling out this dude, this username. I forgot, but they were like, you better put that video up. Yeah. Drinking urine, bro. Oh, no. But it was crazy, man. But yes, they officially said Rockstar made the announcement. I think it's like their 25th anniversary.
Oh wow, yeah,
or something like that, or their 20th anniversary. Oh, wow. That in December they're gonna release an announcement in regards to Grand Theft Auto 6. See that game, bro. I mean, when did the last one come out? It's been a few years.
There was like, oh jeez, it probably came out in like 2014.
I want to say so. All that time to make this new one, dude. I'm hoping to see just something groundbreaking, and just the graphics alone